Okay, hello everyone. My name is Kendall Boyd, and I am a senior Ruby ambassador with Plexus. And I am really happy that you guys set aside time tonight to get on this call. I know it is not easy on a Sunday night. I actually have my 4 kiddos hiding in the other room, try not to make a peep because I have threatened them with death if they do. So they are listening very nicely. But these calls are so important to get on as much as you can because you can get encouragement and you kind of learn tips and tricks on how to do this business. So I'm really, really happy that you guys got on. Tonight, we're actually going to be focusing on new ambassador training. If you've been doing it for a while, it never hurts to go back to the basics. So this is great for you guys as well. But otherwise, we're going to be geared more toward newbies and how to help them get started. But before we get started, I am really excited. We have some sweet ladies that they joined us. They're going to share their testimonies with us. And one of the things that I'm just so thankful for about this company is just there's so many people that are willing to kind of link arms with others and just work together regardless of whose team we're on or, how we're connected or if we're even at all connected, and just kind of sharing how these products have been changing lives. So first, I wanted to introduce Danielle Ricciatti, and I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. She is a silver ambassador with Plexus, and she's going to be sharing just a little bit about what Plexus has done for her. So Danielle, give me just a second, and I am going to unmute you. Okay, you should be unmuted.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for asking me to be on here. This is my first Zoom call that isn't for my own team. I'm really excited to have been asked to speak on here. First of all, I just want to say when I was first contacted about Plexus, I read that email and I was like, no way. I don't want anything to do with this. It's network marketing. I don't want to do with sales, nothing with weight loss. So this for me is huge to be a part of this company and speaking on here and loving these products. A little bit of background, I moved to Texas about 3 years ago, and it was supposed to be this great experience, and it just kind of was miserable, one thing after another. And I ended up I hated my job. We lost my father-in-law suddenly, and I was just so depressed, and I ended up in urgent care because I thought I was sick, and it was actually anxiety, and I was prescribed anxiety meds, but I didn't want to take them. I was scared of what it would do to me. So here I am, anxious, depressed. I have had horrible, horrible cystic acne my whole life. And if anyone has ever taken Accutane, guys, it is horrible. And that is what had me against prescriptions because that stuff just did damage to my body and my mind. I mean, I'm so thankful for my husband that he didn't leave me when I was on that stuff because I was so horrible to him. And it was just life-changing to have been on that stuff. But here I am sitting in this little 1,200 square foot condo because we were having a house built, and I'm anxious and exhausted. I had horrible, horrible insomnia. I just couldn't sleep. I was scared driving to work because I was afraid that I was going to fall asleep at the wheel. So I just have kind of all of these things piling up. And like I said, when I was contacted about Plexus, I wanted nothing to do with it. But I hated my job so much that my husband was like, if you ever want to get out of teaching, then, maybe this is it. What do you have to lose? It's $35 and, it's a possibility that maybe you could quit teaching someday. So kind of just to get him to get off my back, I decided, okay, I'll sign up. And at that point, I had gained about 12 pounds and, all my clothes were fitting really tightly. And so I figured, you know what? Okay, I'll join just to get him quiet and maybe I can lose some weight along the way. So here I am, I'm taking it for a little bit. And the first thing that I noticed was I wasn't yawning the whole way to and from work. So that told me that something was working. I also have had horrible knee pain pretty much my whole adult life. And I just assumed that I was going to have surgery because both of my parents have. But I noticed that I was able to go for walks and start jogging and my knees weren't bothering me. My anxiety was managed. I wasn't sitting there and itching and breaking out in hives all the time. My stress level had come down so much. I was just so much more calm. And after a few months, I actually started sleeping. I was able to come off sleep aids. And that to me was, I mean, the biggest thing that made me go, okay, this stuff for sure works. You know, even though I had all of these other things that had already, you know, it already helped me with. But the insomnia has been huge, anxiety, depression. Also, I had horrible allergies. When I moved to Texas, I was just itching and, you know, couldn't breathe, and it was horrible. I spent so much money going to the allergist, and this was after I'd already gone to the doctors a few times and tried, you know, different rounds of different prescriptions. So as you can imagine, you know, when I have all these other things going on, it just all keeps adding up. But I am happy to say that I am off my allergy prescriptions. I was on a prescription nasal spray, an inhaler, a pill. I had to go get some shots. But I just, you know, I said, I can't do this. I'm just going to hope and pray that Plexus is going to work for me like it has worked for other people. And you know what? I have not used my prescriptions. I haven't had any problems with anxiety. The biggest thing for me as well, besides all these things it has done for me, is that my mom has fibromyalgia. She tried Plexus for a little bit and she quit. And, you know, after seeing what it had done for me after a longer period of time, I kind of just urged her, listen, you have to do what I tell you. And she has taken it consistently since about December now. And her fibromyalgia pain is better. She's losing weight. She's not getting daily headaches anymore. And it's worked for her so well that my aunt has gotten on it, and it's helped with her lupus. My grandmother, you know, she's in her 80s. She sent me a list of 18 different things that she was taking pretty much on a daily basis. And she is starting to come off some of her prescriptions. So it has done so much for me personally. But to see all that it's doing for my family and so many of my friends has just been amazing. And also, of course, you know, the financial aspect of it. I had no intentions of ever selling anything. And I don't feel like I sell stuff with Plexus. I just share how much I love it. And it's nice to get a little bit of extra money every month. We just hired an interior decorator, and that's something that I could never have imagined that I would have ever been able to do. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like I said, there's just so much that it's done for me, and I don't want to leave anything important out, but I think I covered pretty much everything. You know, since taking Plexus, this is the second year that I've actually been able to stick with I don't really want to call it a resolution, but stick with my healthy eating and exercising that I had, you know, made a goal of at the beginning of the year. And I have had such success with Plexus that I actually just signed up for my first fitness competition. And, you know, I tried this before, and this is the first time that I've actually been able to do it and stick with it. And I have Plexus to give all that to.
Yay, that is awesome, girl. So I can totally relate to those Plexus allergies, or Texas. No, I was the same way. I was on 3 prescriptions, and I would get shots in my butt, and I would have chronic sinus infections. And the past 2 years is the first time, after 7 years of dealing with it, the past 2 years is the first time I'm off of all of my allergy medication. So I totally relate, but that is awesome. And all the stuff that's done for your family too. I had no clue when I asked you that all your family members had experienced that too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it has been exciting. They just, I've been on it for over a year, and, you know, it took them seeing all that stuff. And of course, you know, one of the things that I didn't mention is my skin has cleared up so much. I mean, I've seriously tried everything, and I really didn't think that it was going to happen. I was messaging people. I know a lot of people are familiar with Jill Renfro. Like, I'm messaging her like, oh, what are you taking? I need to take it. It's not working for me. So I just really encourage everyone, ask questions and stick with it, because I didn't see instant results right away. It took time, and it takes time for a lot of people. So just don't give up.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's that way for most people. I mean, when you work on stuff in your body, it takes time. It's not an overnight fix. And so it's those who are consistent and persistent with it that really see the results. So, well, thank you, sweetie. I'm going to mute you real quick. Hang on just a second. And then now I want to introduce Michelle Kohls. Michelle is a gold ambassador with Plexus, and she was really, really sweet, and I kind of bombarded her with this and begged her to get on the call and share her story, and she was like, sure, I'll do it. So I'm really excited she's joining us. I'm going to mute her real quick, and she can share with us. Hang on just a second. Okay, Michelle, you should be unmuted.
Okay, so can you hear me? Because I know earlier you couldn't.
Yes, now we can.
Well, first of all, Kendall, I want to thank you for inviting me to share. I will say this is the first time I've done this because, like you, speaking makes me nervous. For one, I tend to get emotional, and then that's embarrassing. But just to tell you a little bit of my journey, I guess my whole journey started in 2013. I was diagnosed with a very rare form of MS. It's called tumefactive. It appears as brain tumors. So I have 3 large brain tumors, and I have one at the base of my spine. And a relapse for me could be instant, not being able to support my upper body, being paralyzed with being on my spine. So that happened. My diagnosis was May of 2013, and it was quite shocking to my family, and it was a big turning point for my family. And I decided before I got out of the hospital, I started for 10 days, just research. And all I kept reading about was gut health. And everything I read was about your diet. So at this point, I'd never heard of Plexus, but I became obsessed with things that I had. I was a diet, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. My infusion's on Tuesday. So when I'm this close to my infusion, I struggle with choosing words sometimes. But I was addicted to Diet Coke, and so just different things like that. I totally quit that before I got out of the hospital, and so I was eating healthy and everything, but because of the MS, I was seeing things where my brain fog was really bad. The thing I just mentioned, struggling with my words, was a constant thing. The fatigue was unreal. I felt like a lousy mom. I have 4 children, and my 3 older ones, I felt like got the great mom, and then my 4th one got this cruddy mother, and it was something I just struggled with. I felt lousy. I mean, she's a daddy's girl because she didn't have me like my other kids had me, because I would come home and I would go straight to bed. And then I'd get up and start my day over. And of course that creates depression. And I just was struggling with a lot of things. And so December, I'm going to fast forward now, December of 2014, we were on a family trip in Gatlinburg, and we've always been extremely active. We're a very active, close family, and a hike that we've always taken. You know, everybody wanted to take it, and my husband was like, are you sure you can? And of course, I took that as a challenge. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. Well, halfway through, I realized I shouldn't have gone on this hike, and it was scary. I didn't think I was going to make it back, and my boys were looking for walking sticks for me, and I ended up using walking sticks. And this is the part I always get a little emotional, but for the first time, I saw the fear in my adult children's lives. I could tell they thought, wow, we're going to lose mom. Mom's not going to be around long. And I lost my mother 10 years ago. So seeing that fear in their eyes, I was like, I've got to do something. And so about the same time, I saw a friend of mine posting about Plexus. And so I would watch, and I was extremely skeptical because there's so much stuff out there. At that time, there's so many other things out there. And plus the cost, I was worried about that. We were very on a fixed income with my illness, and my husband, he had lost his job, and we were just rebuilding. It was just a very crazy time in our life. And so I just watched it, and I finally reached out to the friend I saw posting. Her name was Angie. I reached out to her in December, and I messaged her, and she instantly messaged me back, and then I just didn't talk about it anymore. I got through the holidays, and after the first of the year, I still was seeing posts. So finally in March of 2015, so it'll be a year this March, I messaged her, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this. What do you recommend? She said Triplex. I was like, and I told her at that time, I was like, Angie, I don't want you telling anybody I'm doing this. I said, I don't want to give my family false hope. I said, I don't want to fail and everybody watching me fail. And I said, and my husband can't know because he's going to throw a fit because it's expensive and to me at that time, that's what I thought was expensive. And so I started it in March, and I would say instantly within a week, the one thing I noticed right away was the energy. And I have because my diagnosis, my whole left side of my body is what put me in the hospital. They thought I had a stroke. I just lost all full strength. And so my foot drags sometime. And I noticed my foot wasn't dragging, and I'm an HR manager, so for a manufacturing company. So when I have to go out and talk to my employees, we go out onto the manufacturing floor. So I'm just walking, but I hated it because I always felt like, I never wanted anybody to notice my foot was dragging. But I literally felt, and I could feel myself, I felt like I was running. I just felt like I was just speed walking. And I was like, this is weird. And even when I would go upstairs to the accounting office, I would jog up the steps. And so I instantly noticed it. And it just put this fuel in me that, okay, it gave me this hope, this is my turning point. And I started walking every day. I was walking a mile every day on my lunch, started working out. I got up to working 4 to 6 days a week, and I lost 30 pounds. I ended up, I would say within a month to 2 months, I weaned myself off of all of my medicine. The only medicine I currently take is my monthly infusion, which I will always have to take that. And I get that still once a month, but I stopped having migraines. I stopped having spasticity, which was one of the worst side effects. And that's when your muscles jerk. And so my muscles would jerk from my elbows and my knees, and you just couldn't sleep. So I took medicine for sleep. I took medicine to relax my muscles. I took medicine for my migraines. I took medicine for depression. I was on Zoloft, depression, anxiety. And it was just, I was over medicated, and I totally was able to wean myself all of that. And my doctors and my infusion nurse, when I'm there for my appointment, they notice it. Just tonight at church, I had someone say, because she's actually an ambassador now, and she just told me, she said, Michelle, what really got my attention is you look so healthy. And if you go back and look at pictures of me, I was always smiling, but this always makes me emotional too, but I was always smiling, but you could see the pain in my eyes. And it wasn't necessarily pain from physical pain. It was just pain because of where the direction my life was going in. And I had a 12-year-old that needed me, and Plexus has truly given me my life back, and it's really hard to hold back. When I go in to get my infusions, I have all these people in the big room, and they're all hooked up to their infusion, and I just want to scream out and tell them all, and I have to be careful because there's certain lines, but it's been wonderful. The biggest thing I will say with the biggest milestones for me is the fact that I've weaned myself off of my medicine. And the second thing is I am also positive for a JCV virus that we all probably carry it, but tumefactive MS kind of makes it angry and wakes it up. And they measure my number monthly because it's fatal. If it gets to a certain number, I would die. And when I was diagnosed, it was 0.58, and Tysabri will bring that number down or raise that number. And they monitor it very closely. So in February of 2015, 1 month before I started Plexus, it went from 58 to 67. And so I started Plexus a month later, and I get that tested every 6 months. Well, this past August, they tested it, and it was 60. And my doctor was like, this is wrong. It can't go backwards. And they retested me. And in my mind, I was sitting there thinking, there is no way. Seriously, could this be really happening? And so she did the test again, and sure enough, it came back 60, and she was blown away. And she never, she's not going to say, yeah, it's that Plexus, but she was blown away. She's never seen that number go backwards, and it did go backwards for me. And I have a lot of hope that it is directly connected to Plexus. And so it's just completely changed my life. And just to touch a little bit on the business part, as I shared, I went into it adamant, I didn't want people to know. There's no way I was going to sell this. And my second son got married January, March, April, May, June, 3 months after I started Plexus. And a lot of people saw me, and I was healthy, and I just didn't look ill anymore. I looked like my old self, and I had lost 30 pounds. And so my dad asked me, and I told him, and I said I wasn't telling anybody. And he said, well, I'd like to try this. So I called Angie and I said, hey, I'm going to give you my dad's information. He wants to order. And she just said, Michelle, why don't you let him order under you? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I can't do this. I've between working full time, I had to go back to school to finish a degree to work, and my illness. I have 4 kids. I was like, no. I said, just do it. And she explained the compensation plan, and she was like, Michelle, you don't have to sell it. You don't have to do anything. It just makes sense for you to get 15% for your dad's order and product bonus. And so I'm like, that's fine. Set me up. That's fine. But don't tell anyone. And so I really went into this with no intention of ever selling it. And you hear this. I'm not the only one that says this. A lot of you probably say it, but I feel like I was an accidental ambassador. And my very first month, I signed up the end of March or the end of June. Literally, I think there was 2 days left in June. And in July, I got the money, that basically my payment from Plexus, it was $388. And I was like, and that I was doing nothing. It was just people. That's the thing. It just amazes me to this day. And I'm so overjoyed to be part of Plexus. It's completely changed my life. And it's easy to tell people about something that you believe in. So it's been an incredible journey for me.
Wow. Okay, girl, you seriously gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
I had no clue you had all that going on. Wow.
Yeah.
It's so hard to put all that into a written testimony on Facebook.
It really is. I try to make point, notes and stuff, but it's really hard to share because it's easy to get frustrated because people still kind of sometimes want to roll their eyes and think you're just trying to push something. And it's frustrating because I'm not an advertisement. I'm the real deal. And people who have seen me, saw me going backwards, saw me, if you saw old pictures, you can just see it. I was gaining weight. I was depressed. I was sad. And now, today I walked the 5K with my husband and children after church. And I'm just full of energy. And I honestly, if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would have been able to feel this way, I would have not believed it. And it's 100% Plexus. The thing I like to stress to people is I always say Plexus did not cure me. I still have tumefactive MS. I still have to take my infusions monthly. My MRI still shows 3 large tumors and 1 on my spine. But Plexus allowed me to manage the side effects because I started getting healthy on the inside. So it's been a complete gift, and it's really hard to not just to scream everybody, this is real. You need to try it. It's going to change your life. So
it is. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So glad. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to mute you real quick, and then we're going to get started on the rest. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I think everyone is muted. Okay, so if you guys weren't believers in the products before now, I hope you are now, because I'm even more of a believer after that. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, so tonight our main focus is, like I said, is going to be on new ambassador training, on how to get started with this business, what it looks like. And sorry, I'm in a swivel chair, and I keep having this urge to swivel, and I'm going to try not to so I don't make you guys sick, because I know I would. So first I want to talk a little bit about why you would even do this business. Okay. There's a lot of reasons why you would do this business. When I joined, I was kind of like Michelle. I had no desire to work the business whatsoever. I had a lot of health stuff going on. I kept going to the hospital. I wasn't able to be a wife. I wasn't able to be a mom. I just struggled with a lot of stuff. And my goal at starting this was just to find relief from that. And so I actually signed up as a customer first. And some of you know this, but for those that don't, the day after I signed up as a customer, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she knew the health stuff that I had going on. And I had told her, I was like, okay, I'm hoping that this will help me with the stomach stuff I have going on, but apparently you can lose weight too. So that'd be cool. And her response to that still cracks me up. She was like, hold on, girl, I need some of this. Where do I get it? And so because I was only a customer, I told her, wait. Let me sign up real quick so you can order from me. And, I thought this would be a great way to at least get a little bit back. And then the very next day was Thanksgiving, and I was seeing my mom and my sisters. And so I, of course, told them what I was going to be doing. And, over the course of a couple hours, they decided that they wanted to do it as well. And they ended up signing up as ambassadors. So 4 days into this, I had not even gotten my products yet, okay? 4 days into this, I had gone silver because I had 3 ambassadors, so I got my $100 bonus for going silver. I got $150 in welcome pack bonuses because they got the big welcome packs. And I had a friend sign up as a preferred customer for a triplex. So that's $50 right there, okay? So in 4 days, I had made $300. And I've been a stay-at-home mom for over 10 years. I homeschool my 4 kids. We've had one income for a long time. So $300 is a big deal. That was a grocery bill for me. So this was the first thing that kind of like started making me think maybe there's actually something to this business side. And my cousin was an Emerald when I signed up. And so I reached out to her and I just kind of, asked her, what does the business look like? I am not going to be buying inventory. I'm not going to be doing these home parties. And I don't ever want my friends to feel like a paycheck to me. And so she told me, like, her only advice to me then was, you need to go to the testimony pages that we have and just read the testimonies and then start sharing on Facebook. Start sharing those testimonies on Facebook. So that's what I did. And that's what my number one recommendation is for all new ambassadors. Okay. So you should all be on, there's a couple of testimony pages. There's Testimonials Plex It Forward, there's Testimonies by Blessed, and there's Plexus Journeys. So those 3, there's many out there, but those 3 are the main ones. And those are the ones that I want to make sure that you guys are on. So if you are taking notes, I want you to actually write down that your first task is to go read through all of these testimonies, as many as you can get through. When I signed up, I literally spent 4 hours my first night reading through these testimonies, okay? And if you're already an ambassador, I know that you've probably already seen a lot of friends posting testimonies. You've already read through a lot of them, but I really want you guys to go to the actual testimonial pages and read through them, okay? Because this is going to do a few things for you. So first, it's going to help you to have a better understanding of what our products do and what our products help with, because you're going to see stories on there of things that people struggle with, and then you're going to see what it is that they took to help that. So it's going to kind of help you just understand what to recommend to people better, okay? But the biggest thing that this is going to help you do is to start thinking of people to share this with. Because if you read something that a friend struggles with, then you need to actually write their name down, okay? So writing it down on paper is a big deal in this. I know that another thing that this did for me was it really helped me to realize that I didn't need my own giant testimony before I started sharing these products with people. In my mind, I felt like if I didn't have a 50-pound weight loss, because I still thought it was about weight loss. I didn't know it was about health. And so in my mind, I thought if I don't have that, then, what right do I have to share these with people? And again, I hadn't even started taking the products yet. So before I had started working the business. And my biggest thing was I didn't even know if they would work for me. And I know that some of you new people are to that point. Maybe you're a week or 2 in or a month in, and maybe you're going through detox. And right now you're kind of hating the products, because I had big time detox too, okay? One of the things that stood out to me when I went through and read all these testimonies, for some reason it was thyroids, okay? I don't have thyroid issues, but I have a lot of friends who struggle with it. And I realized my testimony will never have anything to do with thyroid disorders, hyper, no matter what it is. Mine won't have anything to do with that. So does that mean I don't tell my friends about it who do struggle with that? So it was that what if question, what if I share this with them and it really does change their life? And so that's something I want you guys to think about as you're thinking about these people and writing their names down and reading through these testimonies. Another thing that's great in these testimony pages is that it has keyword searches that you can do. So I think if you're on a phone, there should be a little magnifying glass on the app. And if you're on your computer in the upper right side, you'll see a magnifying glass. And if you have a friend, say, that has diabetes, then go click on that magnifying glass and in that search bar, type in diabetes. And what this is going to do is it's going to pull up testimonies that are specific about that. And these are going to be a great thing for you to be able to share with your friends, kind of as an opening to share Plexus with them. Okay. The biggest thing with these is do not click the share button. If you click the share button, the privacy settings will prevent them from seeing it. So you need to actually copy and paste the text and save that photo and upload it into a message for them. Okay. And I actually have files on my team page as well. I have them on lots of different health issues that you guys can use as well. I think I have like diabetes and thyroids and PCOS and all these different things of numerous testimonies compiled together on those specific health issues that you guys can send that whole file to somebody and share those testimonies with them. So a little example of what you could send with that is just like, hey, look, I was reading through this. I saw this testimony. I know it's something you struggle with, so it made me think of you. I don't really know how this stuff works because I'm just getting started myself, but I've seen a lot of people have success with it. So maybe it's something that you want to think about. Okay. So you don't have to know everything about the products. You don't have to have some huge testimony. That's why we have other people's testimonies. Okay. Because there's incredible things that these products have done for people. So you are able to share that with your friends. All of these are free to share. Okay. So one of my favorite things is earn while you learn. You don't have to know everything about it before you start sharing. As you guys can see from these ladies' testimonies, there are a lot of people that are seriously desperate for what we have, okay? I was one of those people. I was literally crippled by all the health stuff that I had going on prior to this. And like as cliche as it sounds, I really feel like my life was saved by these products. And so if you don't share with your friends now, you really are going to regret it. I promise you that. You could really be changing their lives. You never know when you're going to be that one person that answers that prayer that, I prayed for relief for my stuff for a year, and my cousin sharing with me answered that prayer. So, I really encourage you guys to just kind of stretch yourselves a little bit and just, go outside of your comfort zone and share a little bit. So, another thing is sharing. These products, they're not expensive, but they're not the cheapest thing out there. And if you have serious health issues and health goals, then sharing these products and being able to work the business side is gonna help you be able to afford to stay on these products in order to reach your health goals. When I signed up my first month, being a one income family, we actually put my products on a credit card because we did not have the money to pay for them. But I was desperate because 6 doctors and 30 medications did nothing for me. And I just got to the point where I was willing to do what it took. So we put it on a credit card, but that's not feasible for long term. So, if I hadn't worked the business, I would not still be able to take something that has really helped me. So if financially this isn't something that you can see yourself affording long term, then the business side of it not only is helping your friends, but it's also going to help you be able to stay on them and reach your goals. And reading through these testimonies, it's going to start to really build your belief and your passion in these products. So that's really an important thing to have when you start sharing, okay? And when you're brand new at this, you might not have belief in them yet. So you need to find that belief from somewhere else. And belief is a huge part of whether or not you're going to be able to be successful in this company. You need belief in the products, and you also need belief in the company, in network marketing. I've done some network marketing companies prior to this, but I never pursued the business. I didn't know what it looked like to work a network marketing business. All I knew was one where I had done home parties, and I put in $1,000 and I made about $50 in the whole time that I did it. So you need belief in all this stuff. And there is a great author and trainer in the network marketing world. Her name's Sarah Robbins. And one thing that she says that I love, it says, hope will bring you in, but belief will keep you going. And this is so true. People, they start this with the hope that it's going to help them. And when it does help them, it's their belief in the product that keeps them going, okay? Because I'm now over 2 years into this, and I'm 2 years out from dealing with the medical issues that I had. And so when you get that far out, it's kind of hard to remember how bad it was and, where you were at in your struggle. And I kind of forget about the days where I couldn't even walk across my house because I was in so much pain, and I take for granted now the fact that I can. But I know what these products did for me, and you guys reading through all those testimonies, it's going to help remind you even when you're not dealing with that yourself, okay? It's going to help remind you and refresh your belief and renew your belief in all of this. Another, great way to really start building your belief in all of this and really in the company, there are opportunity calls that I don't know if you guys have started listening into. These are done every week on Wednesday nights. And if you go to YouTube and go to the Plexus Worldwide YouTube channel and you go to their playlist, you'll be able to find a log of all these opportunity calls. And a great thing to do with these that I had not even thought about until I listened to one of our Diamond Uplines, Jen Hawkins, is you listen to these, and they're real short. They're like 10 or 15 minutes long, and they all kind of go into the products a little bit. They have somebody share their health testimony, and then somebody share their business testimony. So it's not that long, but they are so inspiring, so mind-blowing. They really, really are awesome. And so try to listen to these and write down the date of the call because they're all listed by date. And just write down a little summary of what the testimonies were about. Because then if you have somebody that struggles with something, say somebody shared their struggle with diabetes on there and you have a friend who is struggling with that, that is a really, really good tool to send to them, to have them listen to. All you have to do is send them a message, send them the YouTube video link and tell them, hey, I listened to this. It made me think of you. Please listen to this. And I want to talk to you afterward. I'll call you tomorrow and see what you think. And kind of give them a time deadline because then that kind of puts pressure on them to listen to it. And these are great, guys. They're so inspiring and people can't help but be like, wow, I really think that I might need to try that when they listen to it. Team calls, these that we're doing, we do these every week, okay? We do these every Sunday, and starting next Sunday, we're going to have a lot of guest speakers scheduled, and most of them, I think, are emerald and above. I think we have a ruby coming in as well. We've got emerald, sapphires, and diamonds that are going to be joining us, and they're really just going to be sharing what they did to make it to the top, things that they've learned, tips that, they've applied that have helped their business grow. So I'm really excited about that. So make sure you guys are getting on these team calls. I know Sunday nights are crazy. Weekends are crazy. 8 o'clock is late, 9 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. And so I really encourage you guys to make it a priority. Put it on your phone, in your calendar, and just do your best. Even if you just have to plug in some earbuds and join on your phone, it doesn't have to be over the video. Just listen in and get what you can get from it, okay? And if you have not read through our compensation plan yet, then make that a priority because I can tell you now we have the best one out there. Like I said, I've been a part of other network marketing companies, and there's just nothing that compares to ours. So read through it. If you don't know how we're paid, then you're really not going to know how to grow your paycheck. So if you have financial goals with this, whether it is to just cover the cost of your products or cover a mortgage payment or, whatever it is, you need to know what you need to do to get there, how many customers it's going to take, how many ambassadors on your team it's going to take. And so understand that compensation plan. If you go to YouTube and search Plexus, I think it's either Plexus Worldwide Compensation Plan or just Plexus Compensation Plan. There's great videos out there that explain it if you can't really read the file. And I have the file on my team page on the file section for you guys to read through as well. So the next thing that you need to write down as homework is making your list, okay? Once you go through all these testimony pages and you start writing down as many people as you can think of, just from these stories that you're reading, I want you to start adding everyone else that you know to this list. And even if you don't know a specific thing that they deal with health-wise, just write their name down on this list, okay? So one of the easy things that we use to kind of help us think of people is the acronym FRANKS. You have friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kid connections, and spousal connections, okay? So literally write everybody on here. My mailman is on my list because at Christmas I leave him cookies and a sample of Slim, because my mailman sees all my Plexus mail come through. And so now he knows what Plexus is. My dentist is on my list. I took my kids into the dentist and I wore a Plexus shirt, and she asked me what Plexus was, and I shared it with her, and it turned out her aunt has fibromyalgia. And so that was a great opportunity to share with her, what it's done for people. I know people with fibromyalgia that it's helped. And so don't prejudge anybody. Don't feel like there's certain people who won't need this. I have many friends that I thought were too skinny to be put on my list because, again, this is when I thought Plexus was about weight loss, and I didn't realize the health benefits of it. And those same friends, I found out later, struggle with migraines or struggle with anxiety. And they are now taking these products and have found incredible relief from it. So just really put everybody that you can think of on that list, okay? And this list is basically your goal. This is your success list in this business. This is step one. Read those testimonies and start reading or start making this list, okay? So these are your first two things that I want you guys to do. When you have this list, I want you to circle those that are your top 20 dream team people, okay? These are people that you think would be incredible at this business. So they could have a big network of people, or, maybe they're your crunchy friend and they're really into health stuff and you feel like this would be a great fit for them. These people are probably going to be the ones that you're most nervous to reach out to. But these are the ones that could really help to drive your business. And we went to convention last year, and Tamara Holloway was sharing about how, and she's a diamond, the top level in our company, and she was sharing about how she would never have been successful in this business if it wasn't for her list. And her top 20 was a revolving top 20. So as soon as she reached out to one, if they were no way am I ever going to do this, well, guess what? They kind of got bumped down on the list. They were taken off the list, but they got bumped down on the list, and a new person came into that top 20. Or if she got someone to join her and they came off that list, she put a new person in that place. So you need to always have that top 20 that you are working on, as well as everybody else. But these are the ones that you really, really want to focus and make sure that you're reaching out to first before everybody else. And there is a book that I recommend that everyone get. It's called Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. This is the lady that I referenced earlier. And this book has great tips on how you can reach out to people. I love it. This is one of the first books that I read, and she's just got so much in there that makes this business easier for you to understand and gives you tools that you can use and apply. So write that down, Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins, and everybody get that book. And, if you have somebody on that top 20 list and you know what they struggle with, if you know that they do have some kind of health issue, then you want to make sure that you're sharing testimonies about that. That's a great way for you to reach out to that person. If there's an opportunity call that you listen to that talks about that same thing, or if there's, if I have a file on my team page and you know that they have thyroid issues and I have a whole file of testimonies about thyroid issues, guess what you need to be sending them? Send them that file and that message I said above. Look, I don't know how this works, but I can't help but send this to you because I know you struggle with this and I know it's helped a lot of people. So let's talk. It's a really easy way to reach out to them that doesn't have to be scary, okay? So making this list is also step one in getting you organized on your follow-up later. Follow-up is key in this business, okay? There's the saying, the fortune's in the follow-up, and it truly, truly is. In the almost 2.5 years that I've been doing this, I have learned that follow-up is the most important step in it, okay? So most people that you reach out to, the first, second, third, fourth, however many times that you've reached out to them, they're either going to tell you no, that they're not interested, or they're going to ignore you, okay? But the more consistent that you are with sharing it and with following up with them, the more and more that they're going to start coming on board with you, okay? So you need to create a system for your follow-up. If you are somebody that likes being on the computer and you like spreadsheets, then I want you guys to create a spreadsheet and take your list of people and plug all their names in there. And then if you reach out to them, put the date that you reached out to them next to their name, and then put the date that you need to follow up next to that, okay? So that you have it all there for you to see. I'm a written list person. I actually have a journal that has my list in it. And if I talk to somebody, I just jot the date next to it. I might put a little note for what we talked about. And then I put an alert in my phone when I need to follow up with them, so that my phone will go off and remind me if it's a month later or 6 months, or depending on the conversation, you can kind of judge that. And some people I know keep their list on their phone so that they can always add to it. If they're out and about and you get a new hairdresser, you want to add that person to your list. If you meet somebody at the checkout at the grocery store, add that person to your list, okay? I literally have the checkout lady at Target on my list, and we've talked multiple times. So I'm not joking when I say that. Another important aspect of follow-up, yes, follow up with your potentials. That is huge, but you have to follow up with your customers as well. This is almost more important, okay? These are people who have already trusted you and decided to give this a chance. And as you get customers, you need to understand that customer experience is huge with this. And you're going to be the one that's encouraging them, that's checking in on them, that's motivating them. It took me a while to realize that when I got customers, I kind of became their health coach. And when you start something new, it's really exciting and you're really happy and energetic about it and you're doing great. And then say it's a month in, especially if they start detoxing and things get unpleasant and they can get inconsistent with taking things. They're not drinking their water the way that they need to. And it's up to us to keep them focused, keep them motivated, help make sure we're tweaking things that, to make sure it's working best for them. So create a system as well to check in on your customers. I would say minimum is once a month, but I actually try to check in on mine, the newer ones, once a week. Other than that, about once every 2 weeks. And again, I love alerts in my phone. And so just whatever your system is for this, just figure it out now, even if you don't have a single customer, figure out what your system is going to be so that you can apply that when you actually really need it. And you make sure you're not like letting anybody fall through the cracks. Okay. So once you have this list of all these people made, okay, we're now going to be sharing. We're going to be using this list to share. If you don't have your list, then I kind of want you in like the next 24 hours to work on this, okay? And I know some of you who have been doing this for like a year and a half still don't have your list, so I'm talking to you as well because I'm going to harp on you about that. And y'all know who you are. So one way, really one of the most important ways to work your business, and you all know this, is through Facebook posting. It's crucial. It really is. I don't believe that my business would have grown if I hadn't started sharing on Facebook. You need to post at least twice a day, 2 Plexus posts every single day. You need to post once in the morning and once at night. This terrified me when my cousin told me to start doing this. I was like, no, I'm going to post once a week, and that's all I can handle. And I remember hearing Celeste Gwynn, which Celeste Gwynn is the double diamond in this company. And my first week, I decided to watch one of her training videos. And I heard her say something like, I've got all my friends posting pictures of their cats, and I don't even like cats. So if I have to look at their cats, they can look at my testimonies. And I think it was also reading through those testimonies made me realize, like, these are life-changing products. And so you're posting something that is positive, and that could be an answered prayer to somebody. My cousin posting is what got me to try these products. She had actually reached out to me in the beginning. I had told her, no way, not interested. She'd reached out to me again, no way, not interested. And 11 months later, I had still seen her posting and sharing consistently about these products. And finally, one of them just was the ding, ding, ding in my mind, because it was about IBS and stomach issues, which is a lot of the stuff that I was dealing with. And it was kind of the one thing that finally pushed me over the edge, and I decided I was going to take a chance, and then I reached out to her. So make sure, you never know who you're reaching, so make sure that you guys are posting on Facebook. And hold on, I need to drink. So some examples of what you can post and what these posts will look like. Take a picture of your products, okay? Pictures, if at all possible, make sure to always have a picture, okay? Take a picture of your products and share why you're starting them. Be vulnerable, okay? Our friends need to know that they're not the only ones that don't sleep at night or who have anxiety or are moody or on meds. We all kind of feel like we're alone out there in the stuff that we struggle with. So be vulnerable, and that'll speak volumes to your friends. So share what you notice. If you start these and you're a week in and you notice your sugar cravings are better, or you're sleeping better, or you have energy, or, my husband said I wasn't psycho mommy. If this is stuff that you're experiencing, that's what you need first and foremost to share. Your friends want to know why you love the products, okay? But we also have other testimonies, which is all those testimonies you're going to be reading. And those are a huge, huge thing that I want you to focus on as well. You have so many friends that struggle with things that are private that you have no clue that they're even struggling with. And that is something that has blown my mind over the last couple of years, to friends that reach out to me and basically just share all their health struggles and concerns with me. And my mind's blown. I had no clue that they were going through that. So sharing these testimonies is what's going to help them see what these products do. And when you share testimonies, please, please, please don't ever share a testimony that is only about weight loss. Okay. There's already too many people that think our products are just about weight loss. So I want you guys to kind of all be working together and helping me. Let's kind of change the view on our products. Okay. Let's help people realize we're about root issues, gut health, blood sugar, inflammation, pain, all this stuff in addition to that. So I always make sure that my testimonies that I share have something to do with health issues and real root issues in our body. I also love sharing articles about ingredients in our products. If I find something on magnesium, which is in our BioCleanse, I'm going to share it. If I find something on chromium, which is in the Slim, I'm going to share it. So starting to educate people on why they should try these products is a great thing to do as well. And in addition to all these, make sure that you are doing personal non-Plexus posts as well, okay? So when you start posting about Plexus on Facebook and all of a sudden all your friends see is Plexus, 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 you are now one of those people who have bought into a network marketing company and now are one giant advertisement on your Facebook page. So I love the whole, I think it's 80-20 rule or 70-30 of 70% personal posts to 30% Plexus. But Celeste Gwynn, which again is that lady I referenced earlier, the only double diamond in our company, she obviously knows what she's doing. She recommends 2 Plexus posts a day and 2 personal posts a day. And that's a great balance. I take pictures of my kids all the time, or me and my husband, and I'm like, hey babe, you've given me my personal post for the day. So just make sure that you're not just advertising to your friends, and that you are also sharing your life, okay? Your friends want to connect with you. That's why they're your Facebook friend. So make sure that you're still giving them that opportunity to see your life and not just your business, okay? As far as the posting goes, there's a lot of things that will help you with this time-wise. There are 3 websites that are really popular. One of them is called Hootsuite.com. It's Hoot like an owl, and then SUITE. Hootsuite.com, TinyTorch.com, and Buffer.com. All 3 of those are free websites that will do scheduled social media posting for you. So I can spend 1 hour on the weekend setting up all of my Plexus posts for the week. And now I don't have to worry about that during the week. All I need to worry about is taking pictures of my babies and my backyard and all the personal stuff that I want to post. So that's a great time saver. I actually have one of my new girls, which I don't know if she's on here tonight. I hope she is. But when she first started with this, I had her set up her Hootsuite account, I think it was Tiny Torch we did. We set up her Tiny Torch account and scheduled a few posts for her. And then she just started taking her products and kind of forgot that she had scheduled those posts. And she called me last week and she's like, Kendall, I'm so overwhelmed. That website keeps posting all these Plexus posts and all these people keep asking me what it is. And now she is like, I don't know, it's got to be 10 people that are now potentials that want to know about Plexus and want to try this. And it was all because she had just scheduled him to go, because if she hadn't scheduled him, she'd kind of forgotten about that part, forgotten about posting. And so she wasn't doing it. And that kind of gave her that belief in sharing on social media is actually very effective. And so use those. Those websites are awesome. Private messaging. I know this seems super intimidating, but if you are not sharing with your friends, somebody else is gonna. I mean, that's just how it works. There are so many people doing this company now. It's definitely not saturated, but these products are life-changing and people are realizing that. And so if you're not sharing with them, I guarantee you your friend knows somebody else who sells Plexus who is going to reach out to them. When I first started with Plexus, I literally sent a message to every single person in my Facebook friends list. And I tried to personalized each one. And it took me a lot of time, but I actually ended up adding 22 ambassadors and 16 customers my first month because of this. Okay. So just start going down that list that you made, or go down your Facebook friends list and add all those people to your list and just start telling people about it. And you're going to be surprised by how many actually need this. Okay. So if you don't know what to say to them, say you want to message somebody and you don't know how, reach out to your upline and, reach out to me and we'll help you figure out how to word it. Okay. If you don't know if somebody even struggles with something, you can send something like this. Look, I have no clue if this is something that you need, but I'm taking it and a lot of people have success with it. It's completely natural, and so far I love it. Here's a few things it helps with: blood sugar regulation, natural pain relief, weight loss, hormonal issues, gut health, and really so much more. I'm taking it for, and then, share with them why you're taking it. And I would really love for you to do this with me. So, there's no magic formula. There's no magic words that you have to say to somebody. Just be vulnerable and share from your heart why you're doing this. And hopefully it's something that they need. So I remember when I got started on this and my cousin was an emerald and then she quickly became diamond. And I kept thinking, she's got to have this like magic thing that she's doing. And if I just knew what she's saying to people or how she's training her team, then I would be there too. And, I really realized that that's not the case. It's not how it works. She just shared from her heart and poured into people and cared about people, and the rest came from that. So again, most people will not do this the first time that you reach out to them, but you really got to start planting those seeds. So my first month, I messaged hundreds of people, and, I only got 22 ambassadors and 16 customers. I say only, that's incredible. That's a great amount. But when you think of all the people I messaged, that was a lot of no's that I got, and that was a lot of people ignoring me. So don't get frustrated by it. Okay. And in the 2 years that I've done this, a huge percentage of those people are now doing this. So just keep that in mind. Okay. They're eventually going to come on board. So with all the things that we've talked about, posting, reaching out to new people, following up with potentials and customers, listening to the training calls and opportunity events. These are things that you should focus on doing every single day. Okay. So if you're someone that really, really wants to be successful in this company, and, if you want to be jewel status as fast as you can possibly get there, then what you put into this is what you're going to get out of it. Okay. If you work at like a hobby, you're going to get hobby pay. If you work at like a business, you're going to get business pay. It does not take 40 hours a day. I spend maybe an hour a day working it. Okay. And I'm a senior Ruby. So that shows you what you can get done, and different phases of your business will require different time. One of the diamonds in our company, she was actually our first diamond. Her name is Sheila Medina. And she said, the cure to what ails your business is daily activity. And this kind of, I just listened to this earlier today, actually, and it was kind of like the big thing that I'm like, because this business is so up and down. It really is. And when it gets down and you're lacking motivation, you don't know what to do. But that's the thing. You end up not doing anything. And so make sure that you have a written daily checklist of things that you want to accomplish so that you can put, really a focused effort into your business and what you want to turn it into. Okay. This will really help you to feel like you're not just spinning your wheels, because as you get further and further into this and you start doing the same things every day, you're going to feel like you are spinning your wheels if you're in low momentum. But really, if you know what you're going to do every day, then you know that you are working towards your goal and you're doing business or income producing activities, as they call them. So a few of the things that I recommend that you do every day, and these are kind of what I do. You need to reach out to 3 new people every single day. You need to follow up with 3 people every day. So these are people from your list, or these are customers that you're checking in on, okay? You need to do your 2 Plexus posts daily. You need to make sure every single day that you are posting on Facebook so that they see your consistency with this and know that it's not just a hobby for you. And then really listening to either a training call or an opportunity call every single day, okay? So this isn't much. But if you do all these things every single day, then it's really going to rocket you to the top. And even I am guilty of not focusing on that every day, and I need to. And whenever my business gets stagnant and I'm like, why is this not happening? Why is it not growing? And then I look back on my actions and realize I haven't been doing what I'm preaching and what I need to be doing as well. And so, I want you guys to learn that now before you get frustrated later on. If you learn that lesson now, it's really going to help you grow. And, as you start to grow your business, please, please, please ask questions, okay? If you're reaching out to people and you're terrified of them messaging you back with a question that you don't know how to answer, reach out to your upline, reach out to me, ask on the team pages. That's what we're here for. Most of my level 1s, I actually will type out their answer for them. So say they're Facebook messaging with somebody and they're like, okay, this person asked this, how do I answer it? I will type it out for them to copy and paste, because they now know that person is getting the correct information and they are learning how to respond to these things. And so I am more than happy to do that for people as they're starting to learn all this, because then eventually they'll be able to do it themselves. When I started with this, I asked my cousin like a million questions. Okay. So that's what we're here for. Don't feel like you're bothering anybody if you have to ask questions. I also love doing 3-way calls with people. I really, really do. If there is somebody that has a lot of questions and you don't really know how to answer them, then, tell them, I'm still learning about all this, but, I'd love to get on the phone with one of my friends. It can either be your upline or it can be me, and just, we can share our stories and we can answer their questions for them. So 3-way calls, I know a lot of people, it scares them, and you don't have to call it that. I call it a conference call or say, hey, let's chat with my friend. But they are a great tool, and everyone I've done with people has been lots of fun and really encouraging and really successful. So I encourage you guys to do that as much as possible, okay? And ask questions about the products, start learning about them. The more you learn, the more confident you're going to feel in sharing them. So this is just going to help you, continue to grow your business. And then really the last thing is write down your why and set your goals. So your why, okay? Your why is why you're doing this business. And everybody's why is going to look different. And whatever your why looks like, that's going to determine really how hard you push on this and how much time that you invest in this. My whys are big. I've been home for over 10 years, and we have always struggled financially. And I'm finally now able to help in a huge way. I make a full-time income as a senior Ruby, and I'm able to provide for my family. We can go on trips that we weren't able to go on before. And my kids can do swimming lessons and soccer and piano and violin and all the things that it's always been a no to because we haven't been able to afford it. It's not just financial for me, although that's a huge aspect. I don't lose sleep at nights anymore because I don't know how we're going to pay our mortgage. I have almost 500 people on my team now, and a lot of those are really good friends of mine. And, these are people that I have seen their lives completely transformed by these products. And helping others and helping my friends find relief from stuff. It's kind of like Michelle said, when you see somebody struggling with something and you just want to shake them and tell them you need to try this, but you kind of have to restrain yourself because you don't want to act like a know-it-all. But when people do give it a shot, you see these products change their life. It is crazy. It is such a crazy feeling. And that's a huge part of my why, being able to experience that as much as possible and help my friends. So figure out why you're doing this. Figure out what your goals are. What are your financial goals? Are you just wanting to cover the cost of your products, make a car payment, pay for your mortgage? Or do you really want to make a full-time income with this? Do you want to quit your job or let your husband quit his job? What are your financial goals? What are your health goals? We all have to have health goals with this too. And a lot of times we kind of forget about that. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to get off medications? Do you want to feel better? The longer you get in on this, we're kind of like customers too. We get bad about consistency with our water and with making the better choices in our nutrition and with taking our products even. When my daughter hit her head this last month, I went a couple weeks without ever taking my products, okay? It sounds totally crazy because I'm a full believer in these products. But I went a couple weeks and I was feeling pretty yucky, and I was remembering how I felt before. And I'm like, why do I just want to take a nap every day? And I was just so tired. And then I was talking to Aurelie and I'm like, woo, I have not taken my products. And I took them. And sure enough, I'm back to my old self. Or my new self, I should say, since Plexus. So be consistent with your products, set your health goals, because that's going to help you, really push to reach them and stay motivated as to why you're taking this for your health. That's why most of us are getting started on this. Okay. Being a product of the product is going to grow your business faster than anything else. So there's really a lot more that we can talk about, but these are really the main things that I want you guys to focus on getting started. Okay. So read through the testimony pages, start working on your list of people like in the next 24 hours if you don't have it. Start posting on Facebook if you're not already, and be super consistent with that, okay? Get on one of those websites I told you about, and that'll help with that. Start reaching out and private messaging people, or text them or phone call them, whatever you're comfortable doing. Just make sure that you are working your list and reaching out to those people as much as you possibly can. Create a follow-up system, so this list needs to go somewhere where you can start writing as you're checking in on people, and you're going to start following up with them. And make your plan of what your daily activities are going to be. Decide what you can handle. If you can only handle reaching out to one person a day and following up with one a day and listening to one training call, do what you can handle, but make sure you have it written out so that you know what that is. And maybe you can increase it a little bit. If you realize, okay, I can do more than this to grow my team, then that's what you should do. Okay. Ask questions. Don't forget about that. Don't get frustrated by something and just kind of give up and not answer that for somebody. Ask questions. Okay. We're here to help, and you're not alone in this. And really just set your goals and figure out what your why is, why you're doing this. Okay. So, that's really it. I'm really glad that you guys joined us. I know we went a little bit later than planned, but we had an awesome reason to. Those were some pretty incredible testimonies, and I'm so happy those ladies joined us. Let me know as you guys are going through this if there's anything I can help with. I know that there are some newbies on here, and so if you're struggling in some area, reach out to your upline, message me. We can do a 3-way call with you and your upline. And we can kind of work through helping you, set those goals and what it's going to look like for you to get started in this. Okay. So just let me know, but I am glad you guys joined me, and I hope you guys have a great week. Okay. I can see some of you. I can't see all of you. Okay. I'm going to end the call, but I will see you guys later. Bye.